to make sure it's clearly labeled, that it is not damaged. I'm checking for my alarm. You will hear and see that my alarm. I'm checking for my, I'm checking the weather stripping on my emergency hatch. This, it'll be lat. You turn it to exit, push. Hear that? Okay, push this up. Put the tooth in the groove. There, see? And then turn it, and then just pull it down. Done. It might take you guys a couple of times, but it's okay. Checking the rest of my windows. Okay? That is it. All this other stuff you don't have to talk about because it didn't come from the manufacturer. Okay? Now go to your driver's compartment. Okay? I'm checking my seatbelt. Make sure it is securely mounted. It's not frayed or cut. And it latches. Okay? Now, I'm checking my ABS light. There it is, on, and it goes off. I'm also checking my safe start with my busted neutral. You want it on, okay? Your thing's gonna go on now. Okay, so now I'm checking my student mirror to make sure it's passenger mirror for you guys. Passenger mirror to make sure it's securely mounted. It is not cracked or damaged, and it's adjusted to me. I'm checking my exterior mirrors to make sure they are clean and adjusted to me. I'm checking my windshield to make sure it is not cracked, damaged. Okay, I'm checking, okay, now I'm gonna check my driver's compartment. I'm checking my mirror switches to make sure my mirrors are adjusted to me. Okay, I'm checking my rear heater, on, off. I'm checking my boost pump. I'm checking my midshift heater. And I don't know what that's for, but we're not going to turn it on. Okay, I'm checking my door. So you'll open your door, close your door. Okay, I'm checking my headlights. Turn them on. Leave them on. Okay, checking my panel. Point to this, see how it dims and goes back up. Okay, I'm checking my red and blue lights. Turn them on. They're on. They're flashing out there. Turn them off. That's all you have to do. Okay, I'm checking my gauges. Checking my water temperature gauge. I'm checking my water. It reads 148. It's at manufacturer specification. I'm checking my oil temperature. It is at 30 PSI. It is at manufacturer specifications. I'm checking my RPMs. It is at 700 RPMs. It's at manufacturer specification. I can't check my miles per hour till I'm moving. I'm checking my fuel gauge. It's at 3/4 of a tank, manufacturer specification. He'll make sure it's full. I'm checking my volt, which is, my volt is at 13.5. It's at manufacturer specification. I'm checking my air tanks. They are at 125 PSI. It's at manufacturer specification. I'm checking my transmission fluid temperature, your oil temperature, temperature. It's at 105. It's at manufacturer specification. I'm checking my parking brake. I'm checking my ignition. I'm checking all my gears. I'm checking my wet tank. I'm checking my front tank. I'm checking my rear tank. Okay? I'm checking my right fan. I'm checking my cruise control. That's your cruise control. Turn it off. Checking my DEF, which is at half a tank. It is at manufacturer specification. I'm checking my defrost. Turn it on. Why is it not coming on? You feel it?
I don't feel anything.
Okay, that's your this. Okay, how come we gotta get that working? All right. So you put your hand stand up here and say it's working. Yep, it's working. I'm checking my driver heater. It's working. Turn it on, turn it off, okay? All right, I'm checking my park regen. I don't turn that on unless told to do so. This here, oh, engine brake. He has his engine brakes on, okay? You've got 1, 2, and 3 engine brakes. He leaves it on 3. I'm checking my engine brake, okay? He leaves it on. You guys leave it on. You guys are longer, okay, while you're driving it. All right, I'm checking my pedals to make sure they are securely mounted and no debris. All right, I'm checking my tilt. I'm checking my scope. Okay, I'm checking my hazards. Okay, I'm checking my left blinker. I'm checking my right blinker. And I'm checking my high beams. Okay, you already did your lights. Okay. Now that that's done, now I've done my compartment. Oh wait, I'm checking my driver dome. Sorry. I'm checking my front dome. You'll be able to see in there. I'm checking my rear dome. Okay. Front power vent. Oh, that's your front vent for your emergency hatch. I'm checking my front emergency hatch vent, and I'm checking my heated mirrors. So that runs the fan for your emergency exit behind you. Okay? If you want, you can do that. You don't have to. I mean,
I don't even know what that is.
it's the air conditioner.
Oh.
You can go, I'm checking my air conditioner, driver air conditioner. Okay? I'm using checking my rear air conditioner. It's just turn on, off. That's all you have to do. Now you're done with this. Now I'm going to start my brake test. Okay? I'm going to pump my brake. This is exactly the same. I'm going to pump my brakes down a couple of times to rebuild my air pressure to get my governor cut in, or my governor cut out, which is between 120 and 140 psi. You don't say it once. I would pump it all the way down to 90. Then you can assist. Okay? To get to your governor cutout.
Now, a quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
Like when we're doing the railroad crossing, we don't have the noise shut off.
Nope,
So do we have to
no.
worry about that?
Nope, you don't. You don't at all. And you don't, all you have is your hazards that you do everything the same except that noise kill. I'm going to take you guys out and we're going to go down and do that. We're also going to do a roadside stop. Okay, Mike, did you hear that?
Yeah.
Barely. You will need this open. You can bear it. Here, I'll do it again. If you want, you can have those off. You can barely hear it. Let's build it back up again. This one you can literally go up to 15. You won't have to worry about it. It doesn't rev like our buses. Hear that?
Yep.
Very low compared to these buses. Okay, my governor cutout is 125 psi. Now I'm going to do my pressure loss. I'm going to put my foot on the brake. I'm going to turn my bus to off, turn it back to the on position, push my parking brake in, wait till it settles. Can't lose no more than 3 psi in 1 minute. Time starts now. Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da. Our 1 minute went by. I did not lose any air. Now I'm going to do my pressure warning. I'm going to pump my brakes down till I get to my pressure warning. which should activate before my pressure drops below 60 psi. Okay, it activated at 65 psi. Now I'm going to do my emergency pop out, which should pop out at approximately 40 psi. Okay, it popped out at 35 psi. Now I'm going to do my spring brake hold. I'm going to turn my bus on, put it into drive, rev my engine up to 1,000 RPMs to see if it holds. It held. Put it back into neutral. Okay, now I'm going to do my air pressure buildup. Should build up between 85 and 100 psi within 45 seconds. Let's get this back on, shall we? You can assist this all the way up to 85 psi. Your 80 is in between that line and 90. So once it hits that 85, that's when your time will start. You guys can count 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000. It's at 85. Time starts now. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 6, 1,000, 7, 1,000, 8, 1,000, 9, 1,000. 33 seconds. Now I'm going to do my governor cutout, which should be between 120 and 140 psi. And assist it to help it along. You guys still have your brake test?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's the exact same thing. Just like on the school buses. What time do you guys test on Tuesday?
I test at 7:30 and should be
We had 10.
10:30.
So my governor cutout was at 125 psi. Now I'm going to do my service brake test. Put it in drive. I'm going to drive at least 5 miles an hour and apply the brake to see if it pulls to the left or right. If it does, that means my brakes need to be adjusted. See how easy it gets up to 5 miles an hour on this thing? It did not pull. Okay? Now, tell her, with my key in the ignition, I cannot check my lights. Can you please help me? Go out and check my lights, starting with my stairwell light and my clearance lights on this right side. You're going to open the door. She's going to get out. Okay? And you're going to close this door because you want everything to work, right? So you want to turn this off. Turn it back to the on position so all your lights will still stay on. Okay? So now you yell out, you go clearance lights. Remember, they're already on. Okay? Just gonna give you a thumbs up. Which if you guys want, you can stand out there and you can see how I say clearance lights and then your blue lights, blue and red lights, because you're gonna have to do blue and red lights together. Okay? So you'll tell her blue and red lights, turn them on. Your blue and red lights should be on. Okay? She gives you thumbs up. Turn them off. Okay? Then you're gonna go left turn signal. She'll give you thumbs up. Right turn signal. Hazards. Headlights.
Already on.
No, yep. And high beams. Turn them on. Turn them off. Okay? Now can you help me with the back lights along with the left side clearance lights? She goes back there, she checks those lights. So you're gonna go clearance lights, they're already on. Red and blue lights, turn them on, turn them off. Okay, then you're gonna go left turn signal, right turn signal, hazards, tail lights, they're already on. Brake lights, push on the brake, release, reverse lights, turn the bus on, put your foot on the brake just to be on the safe side, reverse is good, back to neutral, let off the brake. Once you let off that brake, that lets her know you guys are done with your lights. Okay? So, as she's coming up, you're going to open your door. We need to turn this all the way to the right. Okay? Turn the key off.
We missed the air horn
Oh, air horn.
and the one on the floor.
That one. Okay, don't forget the horns. Pull this sucker out. I'm more worried about getting this sucker pulled out. Do not undo this belt until she's there. Okay? Then, that means everything's off, keys in your hand. Then pull this out. Okay? And make sure getting in and out of this thing, you're holding on to the rail. Okay? Alright, so we're gonna go to the front of the bus. As I approach the front of my bus, I'm checking to make sure there's nothing leaking, that it is not leaning. That would indicate a flat tire or a broken spring. Okay? Checking my clearance lights to make sure they're securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, or missing. Checking my red and blue lights to make sure they're securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, or missing. Checking my windshield, remember top to bottom. Checking my windshield to make sure it is securely mounted, that it is not cracked or damaged, that the weather stripping is securely mounted, not frayed or missing. I'm checking my windshield wipers to make sure they securely mounted, they operate smoothly, and I forgot to do the windshield wipers on the inside too, guys. Okay.
Yep.
And that the blades are not frayed or cut or missing. Okay. I'm checking my left and right turn signal to make sure they are securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, or missing. Checking my red and blue lights to make sure they are not cracked, damaged, or missing. Checking my headlights and high beams to make sure they are not cracked, damaged, or missing. Wow, look at that, brand new.
We don't have an inspection sticker on ours.
You don't have to.
Okay.
Okay. Which they do inspect them, but okay. Checking my mirrors to make sure they are clean, not cracked, damaged, missing, and not missing any bolts, brackets, or bushings. Checking my windshield wiper fluid to make sure the door operates smoothly, the cap is untied, it's securely mounted, and it is full to the proper operating range. Okay. Alright, on this side. You guys don't have to worry about emergency doors out here. So instead of the emergency door, it's your emergency equipment. Checking my clearance lights to make sure they are securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, and broken. They are a proper color, red in the rear, amber elsewhere. Checking my windows to make sure they are securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, or missing. Checking my turn signals and reflectors to make sure they are securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, or missing. My reflectors to make sure they are clean and of proper color, red in the rear, amber elsewhere. Okay, checking my fuel. Door, it operates smoothly, it is not leaking. Okay, it's securely mounted and the cap is on tight. Okay, checking my emergency equipment. The door operates smoothly. You'll have to use this, guys. And the thing is to get, because you guys are going to be doing this yourself. Okay. Okay, you have to, because you got to get in here. Okay. I'm checking my fire extinguisher, that it is securely mounted. It's in the green. It's an ABC, and it's year to date. Checking my emergency equipment, that is securely mounted, that it's sealed and not damaged, just sealed and year to date. Okay, you don't have to open it up, you just point to it. Okay, and then you're going to take this, put it back here, okay, like so. Okay, and then we're going to go to the tire. Okay, everything's the same on this. Okay, I'm checking my front spring mount, securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, or missing any bolts, brackets, or bushings. Checking my rear spring mount. This one you can see, okay, right there. See it? You can see it, the rear spring mount. Okay, that it is securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, or missing any bolts, brackets, or bushings. I'm checking my leaf spring to make sure it's securely mounted, not damaged, cracked, or missing, not shifted. Okay, I'm checking my U-bolt to make sure it's securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, missing any bolts, brackets, or bushings. I am checking my shock absorber to make sure it is securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, leaking, not missing any bolts, brackets, or bushings. Checking my airbag to make sure it's securely mounted, it is not cracked, broken, or damaged, not frayed, cut, or leaking. Checking my airlines to make sure they are securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, broken, not missing any clippings, and it's not leaking, cut, or frayed. Checking my brake chamber to make sure it is securely mounted, not cracked, dented, or missing any bolts or brackets, and not leaking. Checking my slack adjuster, that it is securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, or missing any bolts or brackets. Checking my push rod, that is connected to my brake chamber, connected to my slack adjuster. It is securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, or missing any bolts or bushings. And when brakes are released, it's at a 90 degree. When brakes are released, it's at a 90 degree angle, and when brakes are applied, when brakes are released, you can pull it by hand 1 inch. When brakes are released, it is at a 90 degree angle. Okay, I'm checking my brake drum, that it is securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, bent, no illegal welds, that there is no grease between the drum and the linings. I'm checking my linings to make sure they are not worn dangerously thin, and there is no grease or oil between the lining and the drum. Okay, I'm checking my splash guard to make sure it's securely mounted, is not cracked or frayed. Okay, I'm checking my tire. It is evenly worn, no recaps on the front, 4/30 seconds on the tire depth, that it is filled to manufacturer specification. Checking my sidewall to make sure that there are no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts. Checking my rim to make sure it is securely mounted, no illegal welds, dents, that there's no rust trails to indicate that my rim is loose from my wheel. Okay, checking my valve stem to make sure it's securely mounted, the cap is on tight, and it is not cracked, damaged, or leaking. I would use a tire gauge to check my air pressure. Okay, checking all my lug nuts, which these come off, and okay, because they're underneath this, but checking my lug nuts to make sure they are securely mounted, not damaged, no rust or silver trails to indicate that they are loose. I'm checking my hub seal to see if it is leaking or damaged, which this thing pulls off and it's behind there. Okay. Remember the mud flap we do on the rear. Okay. Anything else? Can you think of anything else? I pretty much got it. Okay. Checking my cargo compartment. Make sure the door operates smoothly. That I'm checking my cross members and my frame to make sure they are securely mounted, not damaged, not missing, no holes in the floors, and no illegal welds. Okay? All right. I would check my battery compartment.
Not doing the rear tire?
Oh shit, yeah, I want to get going. I'm sorry. All right, checking my rear tires. I totally went by this, damn it. All right, checking my, just like the school buses, okay? Checking my front spring mount, that it is securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, or missing any bolts. Checking my rear spring mount, that is securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, or missing any bolts or pushing brackets. Okay, checking my leaf springs to make sure it's securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, missing, or shifted. Okay, checking my shock absorber to make sure it is securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, missing any bolts, brackets, or bushings, and not leaking. Okay, checking my torque arm, that is securely mounted, right behind this thing here. Securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, missing any bolts or brackets, and not twisted. Okay, I'm checking my airbags to make sure they're securely, airbag and my airbag mount, to make sure it's securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, missing, no hole, no frays, no cuts, and it's not leaking. Checking my air line, my brake lines to make sure they are securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, missing, cut, frayed, or leaking, and the clamps are on tight or not missing. Checking my brake chamber to make sure it's securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, missing, not dented, not leaking, not missing any bolts or brackets. I'm checking my slack adjuster, securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, or missing any bolts or brackets. Checking my push rod that is connected to my slack adjuster, that is securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, missing. When brakes are applied, it's at a 90-degree angle. When brakes are released, when brakes are released, you can pull it by hand, 1 inch by hand. Checking my my brake drum to make sure it's securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, dented, or missing, no oil or grease in between the drum and the linings. Checking my linings to make sure they're not worn dangerously thin, and there's no oil or grease in between the lining and drum. Okay, checking my bud spacer to make sure that there's no debris, it's not damaged, bent, not missing, that my tires are not rubbing. Checking my tires, they're evenly worn. Okay, you can have recaps on the rear, checking to make sure that they are That's 2/32 tread depth, and they are filled to manufacturer specification. I would use a tire gauge. You can say that now. Checking my sidewalls to make sure there are no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts. Checking my rim to make sure that it is securely mounted, not damaged, not dented, not missing. No rust trails to indicate it would be loose from the rim would be loose from the tire. Okay. Checking my valve stem. There are two. Here's one, and here's one. These are a lot easier to see than our buses. You don't have to dig deep. Okay. That the valves are on tight. They're securely mounted. They're not damaged. They're not leaking. Okay. Checking my lug nuts to make sure they're securely mounted. They're not damaged or loose. To make sure there's no rust trails or silver trails that would indicate that they are loose. Checking my axle seal. I don't want to pull this off. To make sure it is not leaking. Checking my splash guard to make sure it's securely mounted, not cut or frayed. Checking my mud flap to make sure it's securely mounted, not damaged, and it's no more than 8 inches from the ground. Now we can go back here. Okay. Checking my clearance lights to make sure they're securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, or missing. Checking my red and blue lights to make sure they are not cracked, damaged, or missing. Notice we do not have any emergency exit back here. Forget it. Checking my left and right turn signal and hazards to make sure they're securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, or missing. Checking my brake lights and tail lights. That's all 4 of these. Okay, to make sure they're securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, or missing. Checking my reverse lights to make sure they're securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, or missing. Checking my reflectors to make sure they are not cracked, damaged, missing, clean, and of proper color. Okay, checking, you can, if you want to mention this, you can, you don't have to. Okay, some people do. That's your license plate light to make sure it's securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, or missing. That's up to you guys. We don't do it on the buses. Anyway, checking my exhaust to make sure it is securely mounted. There's no holes, no rust or soot, and it is not sticking out more than 2 inches from the bumper. Okay. I'm only going to identify what is different on this side. Checking my depth to make sure the door operates smoothly, that it is not leaking, that it's securely mounted, and the cap is on tight. Okay. I'm checking my drive shaft, that is securely mounted. It is not damaged, and there are no foreign objects. Checking my hanger to make sure that it's securely mounted and no foreign objects. Checking my U-joint to make sure it's securely mounted and no foreign objects. This, I would be checking my other fire extinguisher, that it is year to date, in the green, and the ABC. Okay, here. That's what I'm saying, nothing about that. I'm checking my steering box to make sure it's securely mounted, not cracked, damaged, or leaking from the box or the hoses, and the hoses are not cracked or frayed. Okay, and securely mounted. I'm checking my Pitnam arm. I'm checking my drag link. I'm checking my spindle, and I'm checking my tie rod, that they are not damaged, cracked, missing any bolts, brackets, cotter pins. This completes my test.